Hello, and welcome to the podcast where we are currently recapping the events of IDW 2005 Transformers Continuity. I'm Onyx Prime with my two co-hosts here.
Hi, I'm Computron.
Hi, I'm Kilobyte.
Moving on with our comic book discussion for today's episode takes us to IDW Robots in Disguise Volume 4. And as always, spoiler warning, so if you haven't read it already, we highly recommend you go read it, then come back listen to the podcast. Now, onwards! Both Computron and myself have read this series already, and this is Kilobyte's first time, and we are excited to hear his thoughts. But before we can dive into that, before we get into the goods, Computron, do you mind telling us some facts about the comic?
Yep. Anyway, starting with some of the hard stuff for the facts. There are 5 comics in this volume. Issue 12 was released on December 12th, 2012, while issue 16 and last issue in this volume was released April 17th,
There's a lot
2013.
of 12s in that last one. Issue 12, December 12th, 2012.
Maybe we're trying to put out a secret code for the viewers. Anyway, the writer's John Barber. The artist was Andrew Griffith, with inks by Brian Scherer, with inks assists by Rick Ketchum, and colors by Josh Perez. So, for the trivia, in issue 12, Wheeljack quotes Bill Murray in Ghostbusters when he warns Cindersar, "Back off, man. I'm a scientist." Wonder if they ever will do the crossover.
I wonder. Interesting.
In issue 14, out of 12, again, spoilers in response to Bumblebee's startled cry that all of the Decepticons in the Black Room have died, Bombshell says, somewhat exaggerated reports were a variation of a quote attributed to Mark Twain. In issue 15, not 12, is a reveal. It reveals RC knew about Prowl and Bombshell. And revisiting issue 5, we see RC and Prowl where she told him she knew his secret. And that was the issue right after Bombshell took control of him, implying she's known all the time. In the last issue, 16, the title of this issue is derived from a common paraphrasing of a quote from Shakespeare, Henry IV, Part 2. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. As a double meaning, Prowl is the head of Devastator.
Ooh.
Spoilers.
I'm ready.
Spoilers. And here's the last one. Ready? Don't forget to click that subscribe button and leave a like. It really helps out the podcast, and we really appreciate it very much. That's the last of the trivia. So, Mr. Kilo, do you mind giving us a short summary of these comics?
Will do, and this one's very, very short. Megatron returns, and everything falls apart. Bum, bum, bum.
A short summary indeed, but that's exactly what happens.
Is that a quote from the wiki, or is that your own, pal?
I don't really know. That's a good question. Kayla.
And as always, the information has been taken from the wiki.
Oh my goodness, Kilo. Alright, shall we get started?
Yeah.
Alright, we open up and discover Prowl isn't dead. Neat, but that's not the most exciting thing happening. A certain someone has rolled up to the city and says that they come in peace. B isn't taking any chances with this individual and has everyone open fire. Thoughts on this scene and who is the individual?
Best choice they could have done. I would have done the same, and it's Megatron.
Yeah.
I kind of really wish Metal Hawk would have shut up. Just let B do his job, man. Just let B do his job.
I like the design of Megatron. It's very interesting. It shows how powerful the Void was, that he ruined his almost impenetrable armor.
I also like that he kept a lot of the sweeps heads.
Yeah, that was interesting. Wonder if they were like trophies. But he doesn't die because the Decepticons see him as a hero after what happened during the events of Chaos. I'll put an image here of what happened. Valid point, but he is Megatron. I wouldn't take any chances with him. And it sounds like Kilo wouldn't either. What about you, Computron?
Like I said, Metal Hawk should have shut up. It was Metal Hawk that said, "How dare he just immediately lay down fire? He saved Cybertron." And I'm like, well, we know the reason why you're saving Cybertron. We're not all that stupid.
Right. So, Prowl is back. He's in the regeneration chamber. But then he disappears. Wheeljack then decides to go and track him down. Where could he be? during his investigation, he runs into a bunch of Decepticon rioters who are not happy to see an Autobot at the moment and start a fight. But who shows up to save his tailpipe?
Prowl with a new shiny paint coat.
Yeah. He gets like a little upgrade. He's beefy.
Yeah,
He has a big boy gun too.
yeah, he looks pretty cool.
He's ready to throw down. I think he's juicing. I think that's the Earth term, right? Anyway, why are the Decepticons rioting? Anyone want to tackle that?
They're rioting because they want to get Megatron out of, because once Megatron appeared and they're like, no, don't shoot him or whatever. They take him captured to get get interviewed by Bumblebee, and so the Decepticons are like, oh, we're back, Megatron's back, he's the real leader, and so we're gonna follow him, and so they're just going in to get Megatron out.
Yeah.
Same stuff, different day, Decepticons going for Megatron.
Yeah. I think Kilobyte was mentioning, it seems like a similar story that we saw earlier, many, many volumes before.
Yeah. Not necessarily the rioting, but kind of Megatron showing up out of nowhere, all damaged. We've seen this before.
Yes. So, while this is happening, Starscream decides to have a talk with his former boss, but it's easily intimidated and scared by a simple smile from Megatron. What is Megatron hiding? Kill, any theories at this point? How a smile from just Megatron can throw someone who has almost a lot more power than him right now?
Thought maybe, because he has the space bridge portal, I thought he was just gonna, teleport out and, take care of Starscream and then, become the leader of what's now, because he can overpower anybody at this point, because everybody shot at him and he didn't even flinch. So... Yeah. Plus, he has a bunch of rioting Decepticons outside, so, he has his army still.
Yeah. So, flipping back to Prowl rescuing Wheeljack, Prowl decides to show Wheeljack the mysteries of the Black Room, and it holds a few surprises, doesn't it?
It does. I do want to pinpoint, I love Prowl's alt mode.
Yeah.
I think it's very good, very spot on.
Before we dig into the surprises of what's in the Black Room, and Computron, I'll ask you after this, let's hear a word from today's sponsor.
Hey, Computron, what you drinking there?
Just some Injects. Swerve said someone at the bar bought me a drink.
Nice. I noticed you've been tired lately. Would you be interested in...
Nope. Onyx already gave me some. I don't want any more K-Juice. Not taking any chances. Even if the podcast needs Shanix, we'll find another way.
About that...
You didn't. You did, didn't you?
I bought you that drink and mixed it with K-Juice because I thought you would like it.
Get over here, you little scraplet!
Purchasing K-Juice, you agree to the following terms and conditions. K-Juice Corp is not responsible for any possible crimson contained inside the juice box or any mischievous gaming plans that may arise after consumption. Other side effects may include mouth moving faster than the brain module, spontaneous outbursts, random blackouts, and other electrical malfunctions.
Oh, Primus, help me!
Waspinator welcomes you back.
Oh, thanks, Waspinator. Here's 5 Shanix. See you next time. So, Computron, do you want to tackle what's in that Black Room?
I suppose. You better not be giving me the other sad story, because I'm not
Sadness.
doing this again. It turns out a lot of the Decepticons that kind of went disappearing, or should I say, we thought were killed off, were in this magical place called the Black Room. And it turns out to be revealed that Prowl was under Mr. Bombshell's control the entire time.
Yeah. So while that is happening, we get to our B plot. That's also currently going on. Blur has locked himself and a few customers inside. I want to point out some of them are Decepticons themselves who don't agree with other Decepticons and actually like the peacetime. RC pops by for a visit and with a gift. Dirge and Swindle for B. Any thoughts on this? Also, mark another death for RC, as I assume the person she stabs through the barricade door is dead.
The world may never know.
I thought it was funny because she's always popping up, kind of like upside down and everything. Like she just Spider-Man, but kind of like more crazy. But it's interesting.
I just want to point out the funny conversation that RC has with Blair was that he's like, I'm faster than you. And she's like holding a sword to him. And she's like, yeah, but I can like kill literally everybody in this room. What's your point?
It was like she wouldn't give it a second thought while he would like actually have to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. So while that is happening, the prison falls to Decepticon control and Megatron is free. Wow, that surprises everyone. No one saw that one coming. And takes
Nope.
everyone to the Black Room. Yeah. So, Kilobyte, what's going on in your brain module while everyone is witnessing biggest plot twist that no one ever saw coming in the Black Room?
Well, when they're in the room, or kind of like what's happening at the moment right now.
When Megatron brings Starscream to the Black Room.
I kind of lost it because it just feels reused because Bumblebee or like Starscream has power, same as he did with the Revenge of the Decepticons, but somehow Shockwave and Soundwave know that where Megatron is, and they've been repairing him all this time. Same as the Revenge of the Decepticons. And I'm like, this is just kind of like the same story. Megatron shows up, he's fixed, he's more powerful, he takes control, and then Starscream just loses everything. And apparently, all that's happening has been working. Like it's been a plan for Megatron for a while now. After the whole incident of the Void and everything like that, and I'm like, really, can't you just leave Megatron lost for a little bit and just kind of have somebody else in control?
No.
No, that's not
Yes.
how it works.
He wrote the Decepticon manifesto, pal.
Then have somebody take his place. Really.
No. I do want to point out I really wish that they repaired his Chaos body and not put him back in his old body.
Yeah, it's a slightly upgraded form, I think, but yeah, I do like the bomber.
The stealth bomber. Yeah.
So shortly after, the Decepticons make their move onto the city, starting with Swindle getting hit with a train. A thing that I've noticed with these comics, Swindle really needs to like watch where he's going because he keeps getting hit by Optimus or with something else that's hitting like high. It's just his gimmick now. He's just getting hit with things. Anyway, but he's not the one that loses his head. Poor Wheeljack.
Nice pun there, pal.
Yeah, before Wheeljack can tell B something very important. I wonder what those important words must be. He loses his head. Prowl shoots him in the head. Well, not Prowl. It's a bombshell through Prowl, right? And we discover the truth about the noise in the wilderness, the outskirts of the city, if you will. And Kilo, care to explain what that noise was? And we learn the truth about Superion.
Well, if I'm remembering correctly, the noise after they defeated the Void and the planet came back to fruition, right? There's a voice from like the leftover energy that has been slowly like affecting bots, and through that they kind of lose their mind, and then they kind of eventually combine.
Yeah, it was a Shockwave experiment.
Well, the Shockwave did the Constructicons, but when Superion combined, wasn't it like the power of the Cybertron, affecting them?
Yeah, so it's like a combination of Ore 13, allowing Megatron to manipulate the energies arising from the reignited core, which created this noise, and then Shockwave had this idea of perfecting his combination material. Well, part one, step one, I guess, is to get everyone on the same mindset so they could combine, right? So if everyone was losing their mind, but then that means that they're on the same subject, they're on the same page, making it easier for them to eventually combine.
Combine. I see.
Petron, what do you want to say?
I was just going to say that exactly what you said. The reason why Superion combined so easily was because they were all able to kind of unify their minds. There's also the reason why Swindle couldn't get Menosar to combine because they just couldn't be on the same page.
Right, we saw that there was a little bit of arguing back and forth way back then when we were covering those comics.
Yep.
So that was part 1 of upgrading the combiners. Part 2 of Shockwave's plan was to make the Constructicons modular, which allows them to combine with anyone because now they can now shift specifically to accommodate their 6th partner in any way. So that way, even though Scrapper is dead, surprisingly, the only one that didn't come back, that and horrible, takes us to our all-time favorite combiner, Prowestator.
Prowestator.
Dun, dun, dun. And third parties, I'm looking at you. I don't care how much Shanix I need to drop on this bad boy. I need him right now. Insert meme here. Shut up and give him. Here's money. I don't know.
Give me the head.
More,
I'll super glue it. I'll super glue it to the Devastator toy. Just give me the head.
Yeah, just give me the parts that I need, please, 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 please. I'm begging you. If any of the listeners know how I can get a hold of one of these, and maybe I don't know one exists, please let me know. I need it. So it's honestly probably one of the more scarier and powerful combiners because he has Prowl, Battle, Stratus, and Constructicon's brute strength combined. Scary.
That is too powerful.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Prowestator?
I think it was at this point we kind of get a little internal dialogue of what Prowl was thinking while he's combined with Prowestator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or was that... No, it wasn't Prowl. It was Prowestator's own mind, because I don't think you guys remember. He's like, I'm not Prowl. I'm not the Constructicons. I am Devastator or something, right? Like, it was their minds. It was really interesting to me.
Yeah, they call him Devastator, but he is more than that at this point. That's why I'm
absolutely.
him Prowestator, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Decepticons begin to take over, and B's face is crushed at the end of the volume. Roll credits. Thank you for watching. Till 1, everybody. No, I'm just
Till 1.
but that's not the case. We actually still have a few more issues to go through. There's still some fight left in everybody. And oh, hey, is that Scattershot in the med bay? That's cool. That's one of the Technobots, right, Computron?
My leg!
But yeah, we get the Dinobots. Eventually, they re-emerge from the wilderness. Superion makes his move and comes into the fray. At some point, Shockwave disappears from this chaotic movement. Thoughts on where he ran off to?
I seriously thought he was still in there somewhere. I didn't notice he left. Because you just see this fight of Devastator just wrecking everything and everybody just trying to stop this massive bot from destroying the city. That, the scenes just flash so fast that I barely noticed that Shockwave wasn't even there.
Yeah, the only way you know that he's missing is they bring it up like where'd Shockwave go, and it's like he has gone to assist Turmoil's soldiers, but he's not there actually. So he's either lying to Soundwave or he's dead. I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out.
Maybe Devastator squished him.
Maybe. So we have a little combiner war going on here with Superion versus
Just a
Prowestator
taste.
and Devastator, and it is fun. It is
Just a
good
taste.
back and forth, although one is obviously more powerful than the other. What is your thoughts on this?
I was gonna say, it was a little short-lived for me. Like, I wanted to see more of it, and, well, Superion just had to turn around.
Yeah. And the only reason why Superion had a slight upper hand is because it turns out Arcee is a double agent and betrays Megatron and a
Double.
Yeah.
That's a burger.
Yeah. And kills Bombshell, which takes Prowestator offline for a little bit, turning the tides. Go Autobots. Also mark another death for Arcee.
Well, is he dead though? Because he died in the few volumes back, and now he's back here. I don't even know anymore who's dead and who's alive.
This is war, gentlemen.
This is why. But he's not offline for very long, actually. United hatred with the Constructicons is Spike Witwicky. Prowl hates him. The Constructicons hate him, which allows him to wake up and gain consciousness again and remain combined and fight stronger than ever. Because now, rather than being forced to combine, they have like a united mindset, ripping Superion in half.
Oh, there goes another group of Autobots. And I'm probably sure they're gonna stay dead. More power to the Decepticons.
Yeah, it's not looking good for the
So
Autobots.
I do have a question about this, and I think I'm gonna wait until we get to the piece where the Constructicons first come apart.
Okay, so the Autobots are not dead yet. Well, some of the Superion bots are dead. But they decide to continue fight regardless and try to rescue Starscream from the Decepticons. How heroic. Computron Kilobyte, what is your thoughts on the Autobots still thinking they can save Starscream? Because Starscream kind of makes a little point, like, he's with the Decepticons at the moment, but he's not, like, willingly with them. Like, he's I don't think pretending is the appropriate word, but he's acting like a hostage in some way. But the Decepticons are not like, they're just kind of making him witness the destruction of everything because he almost had everything, right?
Yeah. I think it's an honorable effort because Metal Hawk and Bumblebee are like, yeah, he wanted to unite Cybertron as we did, so it's only fair that we go try to rescue him. So I think it's something any Autobot would have done.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I was gonna say. It's just like an Autobot kind of cause. I mean,
Just the Autobot rule.
It's just as annoying as it is that's what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Skywarp is alive.
Skywarp is alive. So the other part of this is Computron. Do you care to explain how Prowstater was defeated?
Yeah. So during the entire fight, Ironhide shows up, right, and he's doing his best. But he just decides to lunge at Prowstater's face and start whopping him, and while he's whopping him, talk some sense into him. And after talking whopping sense, I guess, Prowl wakes up and they kind of disjoin the Prowstater, which kind of brings me to my question: if you watch the disjointment of Prowstater, the head pops off, and then you see actual Prowl's head right there in between the tiny, looked like a little tiny head between the shoulders. I don't know if you guys saw that image. So, which kind of makes me bring up a question: are parts of the combiner are they if they're damaged, do they affect the individual bots? Because if Prowstater lost his head and Prowl's head's still there, then I'm sure they're questioning how detrimental the rip in half was for Superion.
Yeah, and that's an excellent question and perfect point to point out. Wow, I can't word today. Yes and no.
I always thought that the head for the combiners was made from like the part of the chest, like from how they twist and combine until they form like an arm and leg, or so if they were the chest, the head was made out of whoever was the chest, and it would use parts from their body. So like seeing that ripped off, I'm like, well, I don't know if Prowl's gonna be okay or not, because those are his own parts, but I guess they're not. So it's kind of weird.
Superion got ripped in the waist, so surely like that's a clean cut of whoever was the leg and the chest, right?
He got ripped diagonally from like one shoulder all the way down.
Yeah.
The middle, not straight down, not sideways. It was just kind of like a diagonal ripped.
I also think it depends on where the combiner is dealt damage to see if it like hurts the individual components. Because like we see here, the head, it's not hurting Prowl in a way that we can visual see. But in the case for Superion, where it's ripped diagonally, like it cuts across where the main component, I think that's Silverbolt in the middle. That would be Silverbolt in the middle being ripped in half, right? So that would affect that combiner even more.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Which takes us to a very anticipated moment, which I would have liked to see what this would look like. So we know that the Constructicons are modular and can combine with anyone, i.e. Megatron, who intends just that. Oh boy, here we go. Although he gets stopped, I really would have wanted to see a Megastator. What would that be? Megatronistator? I don't know. That would have been cool to see, even if it was just for a moment. That would have been cool. But what happens? How does this get prevented? Kilobyte, do you mind telling us?
Yeah.
The three most important words.
Yeah, so when Megatron gets captured by Wheeljack, he puts a little ring, which we saw in the previous volume, that creates a force field. And so he put that with his old body, and B remembers what Wheeljack told him about the most important words, and those words are Wheeljack, Wheeljack, Wheeljack. And by saying those words, it activates the force field belt and traps Megatron inside of it, not letting him combine.
Yeah. Computron, what are your thoughts on this? Would you have liked to seen a Megatronostator?
The Megastator. Yes, and I knew that they were. I knew it was a tease. I wanted to see it, but like as I was reading, I'm like, this is a tease. There's no way, and I was right. Like I knew this is like one of those things where it's too good to be true, and that was a for sure thing. I wasn't disappointed, but I'm like, okay, well, if you're gonna tease me ice cream, you better bring me ice cream.
Well, I saw it. I was like, how are they going to defeat this? Because it's going to be too powerful. But then they do the little belt.
Well, you just say the three magic words after they combine. That way we could get our cake and eat it, right? Anyway,
Cake was a lie.
it was a lie. So, which brings us to another plot point here that's going on in the background. Metalhawk rescues Starscream from turmoil, and they end up getting separated by everyone else. So they're like I don't know where they are, but they're vague enough where no one else can see them. And Starscream kills Turmoil. Was it Starscream or Metalhawk?
Yeah, it was Starscream.
Yeah. And he picks up Turmoil's blaster and decides to kill... Well, he solves two problems in one go. First Turmoil, then Metalhawk. And the plot's twist. Thoughts on Starscream using the death of Metalhawk as a political advantage. Because now he has one less...
candidate to run against. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised. What did you think of the twist, though? Like, were you expecting him to kill Metalhawk after all they've been through?
I was not. I wasn't really expecting him to do it. But once it happened, I'm like, well, I'm not surprised now. He did.
I had a good chuckle because you remember in the scene where Starscream finds Megatron in the cell, and he's like, "I'm winning politically, and I'm doing this through a political thing, and I'm not doing this to like as a conquering thing." And then, well, lo and behold,
yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. And Kilobyte, this is, I guess they're not an Autobot or a Decepticon. Do you think they'll come back to life?
Metalhawk, I don't.
You've been complaining about all the Decepticons coming back. You don't think Metalhawk will come back?
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, that's probably fair. And so we have it. After all the skirmishes is done, we hold our elections, and we have a new president. I mean, King Starscream, ruler of Cybertron.
Is it a king or is it a dictator?
Yes, what's the difference between a king
Yes.
and a dictator, sir? Whose first declaration is to banish all those who are Autobots and Decepticons. So any of those who no longer want to be associated with those can stay in the city. And that's the end of the comics. What are your thoughts on that?
it's fun.
I want to see what happens.
I love that they give us a taste of the combiner fights. We're almost there.
Yeah, I want to see where this goes. Since not Bumblebee, Starscream is now in power, so I want to see where this leads him and takes him to.
Yeah. So, broad start rating, and I'll go first this time because I guess last time was such a controversy.
Oh, I see.
I will do a 4.5 for this one. I'll actually rate this one higher. I don't rate the Robots in Disguise ones very high, but I like this one. This has a lot of good development, a lot of payoffs, and it's not slow in any means of the word. It actually has a fast pace, which is nice, and there's a lot of fun little quips.
Especially from Wheeljack, right?
Yes.
I'll
May he rest in
agree.
peace.
Yeah, rip. I'll agree to a 4.5. This is to me like my favorite. Spoiler. This is my favorite RID. So
I'm gonna give this one a 3.
Get out.
Yeah, you're being really
just-
harsh here.
Just repeated many things. I don't like the whole plot point where Shockwave, Soundwave, no Megatron's alive all this time and they're working. I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of reused and I feel like they should have done something new.
All right, listeners. Well, if you disagree with Kilobyte, feel
But
free to let
Which
us
you
know
will.
a higher Rod Star rating than a 3. But also let us know what your favorite scenes are from this volume and leave a comment below. Thank you so much. We don't have any emails to read today, but are you two ready for More Than Meets the Eye Volume 5? I hear things get really out of hand in that one.
It's gonna be fun.
let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Kilobyte, do you mind taking us out?
We'll do.
Punishment.
If you've enjoyed this episode, consider sharing it with your friends and subscribing. We hope you are all staying safe out there. And again, thank you so much for listening. Till all are one.
Till all are one.
Till all are one.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Swerves Bar Podcast. You can also find us on Twitter at Swerves Bar. If you are interested in more content, try checking out the spin-off D&D Transform and Rollout Rise of the World Killers. Let's tune in for a preview now.
Okay, give me just a sec, because I didn't know you were going to be a vendor bot today, Zephyr.
I want you to know that I'm actually having an absolute blast.
Derailing
just like-
the campaign is the best.
I like how Primus just sat down and goes, you know what, I really wasn't planning on this, but this is just absolutely going splendidly.
A murder turned into the most beneficial thing that's happened thus far.
Exhilarating. There is also a YouTube channel with bonus content. Link will be provided below. End transmission.